If you are a little lost with your 8 ball or are not understanding why it doesn't toggle between two states, then you should pay attention for this. Yesterday we focused on the array part. That's this part where you have your 16 answers from your original 8 ball. We have a bunch of starter code down here. So I'll demonstrate this as if I were a student starting this assignment from ground zero. So first off, copy and paste this into a new pen. And let's see if we can get something to appear. Because out of box, it doesn't work if I just copy and paste everything. Make sure you get all 3 screens of it. We'll paste it over here. Make sure that we add p5.js. Yep, it's there. It's there again. Alright, and let's say we click save, we click run, and if you copy and paste it, it doesn't run automatically. There are key parts missing from this. You don't need lines 17 to 20. I accidentally left that in from last semester. Notice in line 21 and 24, there's an if statement and a corresponding else statement. This is the part you'll have to code in. And I did write some comments to help guide you through this assignment. To help you save some time, I helped you draw the magic 8 ball and also displaying the answer. And as of right now, we'll have to comment this out until we understand the logic behind when do I display an answer, when do I display the magic 8 ball. So if I comment that out, I click save and run. Still, I see, now I at least see my background, a gray background. I know my code is working. You'll add in draw ball to see if that works. This draws the magic 8 ball with little 8 design on top of it. Good. So this is just like drawing an ellipse. It's like drawing your penguin from Ticklish Penguin. We all just copy and pasted what it means to draw a magic 8 ball into this function, which is now a shortcut for us to draw this magic 8 ball. Let's comment that out. Let's see, this display answer is another function. That draws the magic 8 ball, except with an 8, it shows a little purple triangle, and that's what denotes that now the answer is displayed. Currently, there is no answer being displayed, but you see that purple triangle. That's like the second state. So that's working. Let's say we draw both of them. I save and I run it. So it's a very subtle difference. The ball is drawn first, and then afterwards, display answer is being drawn. If you zoom in, you'll see evidence of that because the text is overlapping right here. It says, think of a question and click the yes, no thing about the 8 ball to ask another question. So be careful there. You want it to display sometimes, and that's where the logic and that's where the if-else will really help you. Okay, so if you copy and pasted the code, you have to comment out these if statements. I'm going to give you a really big hint on what goes into these if statements. Understanding it is quite the challenge. So in order to help us with this code, we have to scroll down and make sense of, okay, each time I click the screen, I'm supposed to be able to switch either between drawing the ball or displaying an answer. I need to see this screen, and then I need to see the triangle, and then I have to go back, and that seems to be the hardest part for students. On the P5 website, this is a reference website, it's the documentation. It has a very similar example that you may have used for your previous assignments where you involved a mouse click or a key pressed. Notice in this image, when we click the square, it turns from dark to light, and if it's light, then it goes back to dark. This is the exact behavior we want for our magic 8 ball. So let's examine each one of these lines and understand what the heck's going on. So right now, value is set to, it started, okay, I'll refresh the page. So value starts initially at 0. As we see here, it's being declared and initialized. Then it's drawn to the screen, a simple square. Now each time I press the mouse, we have to check value. Is value equal to 0? Right now it is because it's dark. Since that's true, I'm going to go switch it down to a white color, 255. All lights are on. How do I know that? The fill is dependent on this variable called value. So I click, and I see that's white. Now this repeats. Let's say I'm just about to click. Value at this moment, since it is a light color, is 255. If I were to click the mouse, I go down here. Now I'm checking, is value equal to 0? Nope. That means I execute this else statement. Since it's 255, value gets turned back to 0. So as I click, now it's dark. Next time I draw my rectangle. There are two parts here that are really important. One is checking your variable, and then the second part is using this equal sign, known as the assignment operator, to turn it to be its opposite. There's only two choices right now, 0 or 255. In the case of your ball, it's either you're drawing the ball or you're displaying the answer. Very similar to either the answer is yes or no, there is no maybe. Just like there's two options when you're flipping a coin, heads or tails. And you have to switch between those two states. Okay? In your code, you have to do something very similar to this. And inside the if statement, instead of value, you either display the ball, and then the other one, you'll display the answer. Questions, comments? So it sounds simple, but you will see how, like, maybe you start at this state, you click it once, you display an answer, but then you can't go back. Lots of students got stuck there when working with this. And from yesterday, let's say the first two answers are yes and no. This is how you initialize your array to have some answers in it. Remember the commas? Now I have three things. I have three things in my list now. This is how you add it in. Yes is in position 0. No is in position 1. Really no is in position 2. So that's putting the Mad Libs together with our 8-ball assignment, if you are using my starter code. Cool? All right, time is yours to code.